You don't have to be healed to help. You know, when I started this journey to help men end their behavior with pornography, I was not healed. Did you know that? And here's what I mean by I was not healed. It wasn't that I was relapsing or anything like that. But even at a late stage of my reboot, there were parts of me that was still very hurt and that was still very raw. I'll give you an example. In the porn reboot system, there's habits, lifestyle, and self image, right? The self image and the identity part is constantly developing as you change your habits and your lifestyle. And you can develop any sort of identity you want. That's the beautiful thing about it. I developed an identity that was highly disciplined, that was driven, that was hardworking, that was always learning, that was a leader, that was strong, that was wealthy, and whatever else you can see or you can infer from what I put online. That was the identity I created. But I also missed several parts of my identity. One of those things I will share with you was being a good partner to my girlfriend. That was just not something that I built into my identity. And so for years, I was not a good partner, right? And in the early days, when I was trying to help people and their behavior, it was very hard to get men to be responsive. And I felt something was wrong with me as a coach. I was like, well, it doesn't make sense. Like, I have gained control of this behavior. I'm trying to help these men, but they're not being responsive to me. They're running away. They keep running away. And what I didn't recognize was that there was something that was missing, right? There was a loop that needed to be closed within me. And this happened when I went out to a conference in Houston. I forgot the name of it, but it had something to do with integrity. And it was organized by a group of individuals who were very concerned about the impact pornography was having on the world. I remember very clearly that Covenant Eyes was there. That's the wonderful software, pornography blocking software, internet filter, excuse me. They were out there, and I met some individuals there, built a relationship with them, and so on. And at this conference, a lady spoke up. She was very emotional and she was speaking. It was in one of they had little breakout rooms. You could pick a topic. You know, people were talking about sexual integrity. People were talking about technology. People were talking about different things. I picked one that was on betrayal trauma, on spouses who had been betrayed by their husbands viewing pornography. And I was very curious about this. I walked in there. This lady was so emotional to the point that I started questioning her expertise. I was like, how is it that she was introduced as this person who runs this group that helps women with betrayal trauma, yet she's so emotional? And she said something that touched me. In fact, it changed my career. She said that as recently as, I don't know whether it was a few weeks ago, but it was quite recent, she said that she had been so down. She had been so emotional. She had moments where she was contemplating suicide. I was like, damn, the heck? And she says, I have periodically felt like this for a very long time, even though my husband betrayed me quite a while ago. And you almost might be wondering, why would I be here helping people helping people process the trauma that they went through by finding out that their partner for years had been a porn addict or a cross dresser or engaging in all these kind of crazy behaviors. And she said this line that changed everything. She said, you don't have to be healed to help. I'll say it again. You don't have to be healed to help. I don't know what happened. Maybe there was a part of me that needed that spoken into me, but something clicked for me in that moment. And I recognized that I needed to actually hear that. I recognized that there was something within me that was holding me back. And it was the recognition that even though I was advanced in my reboot, there were so many parts of me that needed work. And I believed that I needed a certain level of perfection. That's what I thought. I was like, I need to be perfect at this and this and this. I had all these prerequisites in order to coach other people, in order to teach other people, in order to do whatever I was going to do. And immediately I heard this, I knew that it was true. The reason why I shared with you that I was not a great partner was because I wasn't a great partner. My relationship was threatened by the person I was so many times, right? In spite of this self image I had built. And it took many years, yes, while I was a coach, to learn how to be a better partner. And even when I learned how to be a better partner, and I'm still learning how to be a better partner, there were other parts of my life where I was absolutely shit at. And I've had to keep coming back to this concept of not being perfect. It is okay, my brother, for you to be absolutely shit in one part of your life, right? And okay in the other area. But one does not have to be a prerequisite for the other. I understand that there are some individuals from a religious background or from somewhere else who claim that you must be perfect and you must be well rounded in all of these areas, that you must be a great husband, you must have a six pack, you must have sexual integrity, you must be this. No, we are human beings and we will never, ever, ever be perfect. Neither should we strive for perfection. We should not. We should strive to live by our standards. We should strive to improve. But if you strive for perfection, my brother or my sister, if you're watching, you are going to fall short again and again and again. And the biggest lesson, I think, is just learning and accepting that. For myself, the moment I heard this message, I came back. And all those men who were no longer responsive to me started responding. And you know why they started responding? They started responding because I figured out what that loop was that needed to be closed. The loop was within myself. I had to recognize and accept and open my mouth and say that I was not fully healed. Because when a man is dealing with this behavior, you know what it's like. You have so much shame. You are hopeless because you have gone back to this behavior again and again and again. The things you said you would never do, you're now in a fucking motel room doing it. The things you said you would never watch, you're now watching it. Your dick is dead. Your dick is dead. You have jerked off and watched the most horrible things. You feel empty. You do not know what joy is anymore. You can't even go out on the streets because you're unable to make eye contact with people. All you want to do is hide. All you want to do is just stay away from the world. There is no motivation to do anything. I get it. I have been there. I have wasted more time on pornography than I will ever, I think, spend on doing shit like this. Maybe it'll take me another couple of years to balance it out. But I can tell you, if I invested the time that I was investing in pornography on this, well, actually, I don't think anything would have happened. Because if I didn't accept the fact, if I didn't accept the fact that I had to be healed, that I didn't have to be healed, excuse me, in order to help, this wouldn't have happened. But the moment I started accepting that, men could hear it because I started coming from a place of compassion again. I remembered, JK, bro, you are not perfect, man. You got some fucked up shit that you still need to deal with. And you better start telling these men how fucked up you were and how fucked up you are. Because when they recognize that you are fucked up and you were fucked up and you're absolutely open and honest about where you are, they will trust you because that is what you needed. That is what I needed. I didn't find anybody who was out there consistently talking about it and being honest about the fact that they were a fuck up. In fact, there were too many people talking about how they used to be a fuck up and now they were perfect. And I had to talk about it and I had to show it. I have people who say things like, JK, you don't spell well. I don't like the fact that you cuss. I sometimes think you're angry and blah, 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 blah. And I stopped trying to be perfect with those things. This was years ago. The moment I did that, my YouTube channel took off. The moment I did that, men started showing up. The moment I did that and I just accepted that, dude, it's okay. Like whatever part of you that's holding you back that you're trying to hide, stop fucking hiding that shit. Just tell these guys the truth. The moment I did that, men actually started rebooting. Men who are dealing with this do not need a perfect therapist. I did not need a perfect person. All my mentors were broken men. My best mentors were men who were honest about who they were. And I looked at them and I aspired to certain things they had because they weren't superhuman, because they were just like me. In fact, there were some things in their life they were shit at. I was like, bro, I can do that really well. You can't do that? That's crazy. But you can do this other thing? I will learn from you. That's what we need. We don't need no fap coaches who talk about superpowers. We don't need semen retention people who imply that you have to be some perfect monk, right? We don't need perfection. We need the truth. We need people to know that we're going to that to tell you that even when you reboot, there's still going to be bullshit you're dealing with. And by the way, I just want to end this with saying, I mean, this is just a random video I decided to sit and talk about, but I want to end this with saying that please never place any recovery, reboot, whatever the fuck they want to call it, coach, person who helped, do not put anybody on a fucking pedestal. If they will not tell you their weaknesses, if they will not share shit about their personal life, if they will not talk about what is going on in their life, I don't think you should trust them. I want to know what's happening in a person's life. I want to know, I don't need to know like everything that's going on in your life, honestly, but I don't want to feel like you're just a perfect talking head, right? I don't care where anybody is in their reboot. There's always something else that we need to work on in our lives. There are many things I'm working on, right? And if you like, I'll share them with you guys. If when clients ask, JK, what are you dealing with right now? What's the next thing in your life? You can ask my clients. They will tell you, man, JK just shows up and gives guys, there was a fucked up day. This shit happened to me, right? Man, I would love to work with you guys. I'd love for you guys to be in our groups, right? I'll just end this with a quick ROM. It's called uh, Rambling Old Man, right? I'm not calling myself an old man, but I'll end this with this. Uh, you guys know, like it was my last. Some of you guys might know it was my last year coaching, right? Last year, which means that I keep some one-on-one executive clients, but I haven't been doing like group coaching or anything like that. And I started once a month in the Reboot Intensive group. I go back in there to do like a workshop for the brothers there once a month just for intensive clients. And I have to tell you guys, I really missed it. This time I went in there, it was so good. There was so much love. I love serving the guys. I love talking with them about this problem. I love just being human. It's such a human thing for guys to just talk about our sexual behavior. And it's not weird. It's about everything that comes with it, like about being a man, the ruminating we go through, the fears we go through, the expectations, how crazy AI is. Like just talking about those things in a healing environment with men who are safe. You know that none of the things you guys are talking about is going to leave that room, that Zoom room, wherever we are at, right? And it's such an enriching experience. I always come out of there with my heart full. And when I say that, I would genuinely love for you guys to be a part of it. Maybe you can't afford the intensive, but we're always going to work with you if you have financial issues, as long as you understand that there is an investment here, right? Like this isn't free, guys. I don't like I have other businesses that I run. I do not take a salary, I swear. This year I've only taken money out of the company once, and that was in January, and that was because my CFO insisted. After that, I have not taken a dime out of the company. Everything goes back into it to grow it and to serve you guys. I survive off other endeavors I have. But understand that all the other coaches in there, they need to be paid. Dr. Rankin, Dr. Eastman, Coach Milan, Chris, Orestes, the entire team that makes this happen. So as long as you know that there's just a little investment to make so that you can be free of this, we'll be able to help you. We will work with you regardless of your situation. But I'm very proud of what we've built. I think we're very honest about what we do. I think we're determined to help you. I know we're determined to help you. And the guys that I work with get super pissed if we don't help you. We take it personally if you go through the program and you didn't get the results that you needed, right? It's just some guys don't reach back out to say like, JK, hey, I'm not quite satisfied with that. But if you reach out, we'll work with you, bro. Right? Um, yeah, that's it. That's what I got to share with you guys today. All right, my day is about to start. If you have any questions or anything, drop it for me in the comment section. Talk to you guys later. Bye.